All right. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night again, whatever time zone you are on. We are live again. I am using StreamYard right now. I don't have time to deal with Google. I mean, Zoom, um, and whatever issues they are having. So I jumped on StreamYard and my mic should be on. Yeah. Okay, person. So make sure I'm good. That was from before. All right. All right. Checking my sound right now.
All right.
Sound is in. All right. We'll do a moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives. Now that I know that the sound is in. Um, okay. Hey, Andrea. How are you? It's good to see you. Hopefully, you've been doing the best that you can. All right. Hopefully, everybody's been doing the best that they can in the situation that they are in. Again, I am using StreamYard. The last live that I did, Zoom stopped on me, and I was streaming again tonight, and my Zoom app stopped on me. So, um, my child has so graciously, and I don't like this broadcast stream that I'm streaming at. My child has so graciously um, is in there working on all of that updates and whatever else I need to do. I greatly appreciate that. So I am using StreamYard. Yeah, and I'm not going to be on here too long using StreamYard. Um, I probably should have used another software application to push live through because there's a bunch of them. Um, but I'm on this one. So what I want to get to is we will hit just a little music because I need to test the sound out again. And from there, we're going to go right into um, the videos. So here we go. Let's do this. All right. Hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complication. Bite your lip and take the trip. Though there may be wet road ahead and you cannot slip, just move on up. For peace you find into the steeple of beautiful people where there's only one kind. So hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by
by and by. Move on up and keep on wishing. Remember your dream is your only scheme, so keep on pushing. Take nothing less than the simple this. Not all fame, no mistakes will say that you can pass the test. Just move on up to a greater day. With just a little faith, if you put your mind to it, you can surely do it.
All right, that is enough of that. Let's move on. Let's move on to this. Let's get to Derek Chauvin first, and then I have videos pulled up in the background. So we'll listen to a little bit of what the forensic pathologist that did his autopsy said, and from there we'll go straight into Minnesota body cam, and it will be graphic of parental consent. Viewers' discretion is advised. You will hear and see some graphic content tonight. Again, viewers' discretion and parental consent is necessary and needed. This was Dr. Baker from last week in the Chauvin trial, and today his brother testified. George Floyd's brother, one of his brothers, took the stand, and you had other specialists come up, and you also had a doctor who specialized in conditions of the heart come up and testify as well. But let's get to the Dr. Baker, who actually performed his autopsy, and hear a little bit of what he had to say. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. So here it is. Let's get to Chauvin. Let's play this. Oh.
Okay. Do you recall having a conversation with Hennepin County prosecutors about the significance of the toxicology findings?
I recall having the conversation. I don't recall the specifics of it, but I'm certain that I would have relayed the toxicology findings to them.
Do you recall describing the level of fentanyl as a fatal level of fentanyl?
I recall describing it in other circumstances. It would be a fatal level, yes, in other circumstances.
Would you agree that one of the causes of the pulmonary edema that you communicated to the county attorneys is also fentanyl?
Fentanyl can certainly be a cause of pulmonary edema. As I indicated earlier in previous questioning, it's compounded by the fact that Mr. Floyd had quite a bit of CPR, and so I find the pulmonary edema much less specific, given that he survived and made it to the hospital for a period of time.
Do you recall telling the county attorney's office that had you found Mr. Floyd under different circumstances, you would have determined this to be a fentanyl overdose?
So I don't recall specifically what I told the county attorney, but it almost certainly went something like this. Had Mr. Floyd been home alone in his locked residence with no evidence of trauma, and the only autopsy finding was that fentanyl level, then yes, I would certify his death as due to fentanyl toxicity. Again, interpretation of drug concentrations is very context dependent.
You then were also interviewed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation on or about July 8th of 2020.
I believe it was the Federal Bureau of Investigation and or the U.S. Attorney. A lot of these took place over video calls, and I wasn't entirely sure who was who at all times, but I believe it was those two. Yeah.
And that occurred on July 8th of 2020, correct?
To the best of my recollection.
Were you asked but for type questions?
I was.
And were you able to form an opinion on but for the involvement of law officers, whether Mr. Floyd would have died under these circumstances?
Overruled, this is not the legal standard, simply his diagnosis. We can go forward on that basis.
So I'll answer the question, Counselor. As I mentioned earlier, there were multiple people on these video calls, and at some point there was more than one person asking questions at a time. I don't normally think of things in the but-for paradigm. Perhaps that's a legal thing, but it's not normally how I think as a forensic pathologist. So what I clarified for the U.S. Attorney and the Federal Bureau of Investigation was my opinion as to what happened to Mr. Floyd, and that is he experienced a cardiopulmonary arrest in the context of law enforcement's dual restraint and neck compression. It was the stress of that interaction that tipped him over the edge, given his underlying heart disease and his toxicological status. That was also clarified in a letter from the Hennepin County Attorney to the U.S. Attorney, I want to say within a few days of that meeting, because of the confusion around how that meeting was run and the way those questions were asked.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay. And that was from the
witnesses in this case for both the prosecution and defense took the stand today.
You conducted the autopsy on Mr. George Floyd.
pause this
Unlike
in the background. Okay, that was from Dr. Baker, the forensic pathologist that did the autopsy on George Floyd. And so there's been many doctors and the cream de la creme of the field in terms of pulmonary specialists who brought sleep apnea centers here and helped founded those in the United States, who deals with the anatomy and physiology of the human body, who explained it in great detail and did some excellent teaching, and a lot of people learned that day. And then before Mr. Baker came on, the forensic pathologist who trained him, Dr. Thompson, came on, and they're all saying the same thing, that it was a homicide and no oxygen was getting to the brain and blood wasn't circulating through the heart like it should have been, getting to the heart, the brain. And so they did great explaining that. Now, the defense gets to bring their witnesses and should be bringing their witnesses this week. So we will hear that. But let's get to this. Female officer from Minnesota. Let me cue this video up in the background. No, ma'am. You said taser, taser, taser. And so I have you classified as Officer Karen. And people will know why. But you up there saying taser, taser, taser. A taser don't feel like a gun. A gun doesn't feel like a taser. And the police chief today, when I was listening to him give his press conference and answer questions, said your taser is kept at one side and your gun is kept at another. So they're kept in different locations on your body. But even if he did not say that, miss me with the foolishness and the nonsense of saying when you had a fully loaded gun in your hand, taser, 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 because again, a gun and a taser don't even feel the same. And it's a difference in weight. Okay. And so I called you a Karen, Officer Karen. It may not be your name, but miss me with that dumb stuff. So let me do the share on this, and then I'll log in and we'll listen to the little snippet, because this right here is just a little snippet, but I'm waiting for more than little snippets from body cams.
As you can hear, the officer, while struggling with Mr. Wright, shouts "taser, taser" several times. That is part of the officer's training prior to deploying a taser, which is a less lethal device. That is done to make her partners aware, as well as the subject, that a taser deployment will be imminent. During this encounter, however, the officer drew their handgun instead of their taser. For informational purposes, we train with our handguns on our dominant side and our taser on our weak side. So if you're right-handed, you carry your firearm on your right side, and you carry your taser on the left. This is done purposefully and is trained. As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed, and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. I've asked the BCA to conduct an independent investigation into the shooting and death. Once they are completed, I expect they will submit their findings, independent of me, to the appropriate authorities, the appropriate attorneys that will look and review this case.
Okay, so that's what he had to say.
Cardiopulmonary arrest
And
caused by low oxygen induced by positional asphyxia.
again,
What caused the low level of oxygen in the case of
they can miss me with that foolishness. Now let me log in to the other video. When she yelling and screaming, like I said, I got her named and labeled female Officer Karen, sitting up there screaming and hollering, taser, taser, taser. No. You knew doggone well there was no taser when you had it in your hand, because a taser does not feel like, what was she carrying? Pistol? Or whatever she was carrying. Don't feel nothing like a taser. You knew doggone well in your hand you had gun. They don't even feel the same. One is loaded with bullets and a clip. Let me go ahead and log on in again. Parental consent. Graphic. Viewer's discretion is advised. Let me log on into the other one. Strong language will be used from the officer's mouth. So thank you for giving me some time as I log on again. Had all this pulled up earlier before Zoom started on me again like it did last week. Just stopped. Software application stopped last week while I was streaming, waving by. Just wow. Did the same thing tonight, so I'm using StreamYard. All right, I'm logged in here. Go to this video. Okay. see video. Make sure the song is on. Okay. The video is already in the process of playing. So what I'm going to do is roll it back. But let me get to this share so everyone can see. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Hey, Vine. Mm-hmm. You a lie, Karen. That's a gun, loaded with clips. All right. Mm-hmm. Karen, Officer Karen, and I've called you Karen, and you know why. Why you sitting up there screaming and hollering, taser, you a lie. You know there was a gun loaded with a clip. Let me say it again. I'm calling you Officer Karen for a reason. Mm-hmm. So, while you were screaming, taser, trying to cover your behind, somebody stupid. There was a gun loaded with clips with some rounds. Clip with some rounds, ammunition, right? And a taser doesn't feel like a gun. You doggone well you had your gun in your hand. And for the police chief, she deserves her due process. And for anybody saying, oh, he just should have complied and he would have been alive. Wait a minute. So we got Mr. Colorado running in grocery store shooting up a bunch of people and he just gets shot in the leg, but he's alive. We have Mr. shooting up everybody in the masseuse. And the officer talking about he just had a bad day. And he comes out alive. So we have some people who've been out here murdering a couple of folk, armed, locked, loaded, gun, hitting bullets that exploded in other people's bodies, body count, people dead. And we got this fool. Yeah, I called her a fool. Let me say it like it is tonight. I don't give a doggone who don't care about what tonight, because I'm going to say it like it is. No nonsense news. We got Officer Karen, which is not her real name, screaming and hollering, taser. Like she didn't know she had a gun in her hand loaded. How dumb do you think we are? Do not insult our intelligence. Don't insult our intelligence. Don't ever insult our intelligence like that. You must think African American people stupid. Not only that, you must think other nationalities are stupid too. So you mean to tell me, and this is what I'm calling her, Officer Karen went through training, and she don't know the difference between a doggone gun and a taser? which are kept on different sides of the body, by the way, according to the police chief when you're trying it, right? And again, a gun and a taser don't even feel the same in weight. Again, you know the feel of a gun. And how long she been on the force? So here we go again, Minnesota. Chauvin's trial, in which the defense have had George Floyd on trial, as well as other witnesses on trial. I said that from the start. Now we turn around and we get the same on foolishness. And then you get slow bellies, jelly bellies, who always want to comment and deflect off facts that can be proven. I'm gonna say it like this: her behind should have been fired. Yeah. And charges should have been brought right away. Yeah. And police chief, you ain't doing your doggone job, but I wouldn't expect you to, because all you set up there today did in your news conference was with a bunch of doggone excuses. Miss me with that mess and that foolishness. So we see snippets of the video that y'all really didn't want to release. And you tell us with the snippet of the video that's released not to believe our seeing eyes and our hearing ears. Just like y'all trying to do in a Chauvin trial. Don't believe your hearing ears and your seeing eyes. So you're going to come out here and try to deceive people. Don't believe what you thought you saw. Don't believe what you thought you heard. No, that ain't what you heard. What you really heard was this: insulting people intelligence. Again, because this is no nonsense news. Miss me with that foolishness. Miss me with that foolishness, Officer Karen. And again, that's not her name, but it's the reason I'm calling her Karen. But when the insurrectionists showed their behinds up at the Capitol, y'all ain't had nothing for them, huh? Who were directly threatening elected officials and officers. Some officers ended up dead, but y'all didn't have nothing for them, huh? You ain't had nothing for them, huh? Some of you all didn't have anything for them, huh? Right, and they trained to know the difference. And you hear her say as clear as day, she shot him. Oh, she's a veteran? She's a veteran, Yvonne? Oh, wow. Okay. Because I don't know how long she's been on the force, but she's a veteran. Right, Yvonne. Don't believe what you see or hear. So, my prayers go out to the families, as usual. As people, we have to actively stay engaged. Behind the scenes, it is up to us to write our Congress, men and women, our local elected officials, and see where they stand on these issues and let them know, under no uncertain terms, is this acceptable? And so we need them to use their voice, not just us utilizing our voice, but they need to use their voice as we move them into using their voice or moving them out of the way. Recall, impeach, whatever, to let them know. No, we don't just stand by. Where's your voice on this? We need to know where your standing is on this. You don't get to get the taxpayers' money and do nothing. Yeah. So, and constantly keep drafting laws and pushing laws at your local level, at your state level, and protesting, because it takes all of it. And protest means to resist. The resistance is instantaneous. Now, we know trials and court dates, that's where the long process is. So we don't get weary in our well-doing, waiting for trials to happen. And we constantly hold their feet to the fire in terms of some form of justice. And we make sure police officers in the United States are no longer immune from lawsuits or from prison, because it is absolutely absurd, it's ridiculous, and it never should have been written on the books at all, at any time, for any reason. So it's time to revoke and do away and demise of this police immunity. Because, hey, if these officers knew that they would die the way that they murdered others unjustifiably, maybe they would walk a little bit more gingerly than what they have been walking, and tread a little bit lighter and have a little bit more compassion and really focus on de-escalating tactics. Now, let somebody lie and say he was posing a threat if they wanted to. No, he was going away after he got shot, by the way, because he was shot first, and still wanted to get away from the officers. But you can get armed and dangerous murderers taking down people into custody with them still being alive, who did pose visible threats and murdered people. Somebody make it make sense. Oh, she's a veteran. Yeah. Okay. So again, I'm using StreamYard, and I'll chat with Zoom later, because this is twice where they have frozen up on me in the midst of a live stream. And Zoom, I don't like it. I've been with you all for a few years, so this freezing when I'm in the midst of a live stream is out of order. Okay, now, having said that, again, let's make sure we stay vigilant. And Officer Karen, that may not be your real name, mix me with that foolishness and that dumb stuff. You was doggone where you didn't have no taser in your hand while you sitting up there screaming and hollering, taser, taser, taser. You know the difference between a gun and a taser. So, having said that, yeah, thank you, 3000. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and get out of here. Again, thank you everybody for streaming. Apologies for the inconvenience with the technical difficulties, with Zoom freezing up in the midst of live streams, and sound going out in the midst of live streams lately. Okay. With that being said, let's remember this: Michigan, we're the epicenter for coronavirus right now. The variant that's over here from the UK, Brazil, whatever. So let's make sure we continue to wash our hands, wear our masks, and do what we need to do as a people. And some people in Michigan, y'all just need to sit down somewhere. Those of you who still running around in the state of Michigan without your mask on, y'all need to sit y'all behinds down somewhere. You're not helping at all. Oh, I said that in my state. Now, having said that, you all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Thank you so much for streaming. I'll see you again throughout the week. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Stay as safe as you can. Bye-bye. Thanks.